Hello, my fellow speakers. This is Brian, the speaker for the dead, coming to you today with a video on comedy. Now, I've recently done a video on the Dave Chappelle Netflix original comedy special, and I wanted to do one on Bill Burr's new comedy special. Mainly because I'm trying to break away a little bit from some of the topics that I've been doing on my YouTube channel. I don't want to become stale. I don't want to repeat myself too much. I don't want to cover the same topics over and over and over again. I want to be able to branch out and be kind of a broad spectrum channel where more than just science fiction or this or that gets discussed. That's why I tell people, if you're interested in the subject and you want to hear me talk about it, or participate in it, or give me some ideas for a live streaming event so that we can talk about them kind of more directly, that would be fantastic. So, but I wanted to do this on Bill Burr because I actually really like Bill Burr as a comedian. Now, he is fairly vulgar at times, and he does swear an awful lot. Just so full disclosure, I will be giving using some clips from the special on this video. I'll try to keep it to a minimum so that YouTube and Netflix and everybody doesn't feel the need to copyright strike me when I'm actually doing something that kind of promotes their video. You would think that they might not do that to creators, but they are. So, okay. But anyway, I wanted to cover this because comedians are an important thing in our society. They're kind of the canary in the coal mine for us, really, when it comes to freedom of speech. They push the levels of propriety and the levels of decency sometimes, too far sometimes, but they also, it tests those boundaries of freedom of speech. It makes sometimes you think about something that's an uncomfortable subject in a humorous way. And it gives you a different perspective on it than you would normally get. Now, I love Bill Burr because he makes me laugh, and because he hits into those topics and he goes full throttle. There's no subject that's off limits, no uncomfortable conversation that cannot be talked about, and that's exactly what he should be. Now, I wish he didn't swear quite as much, because I think he can be just as funny without all the F words. I mean, if you cut out the F words from this special, you probably lose anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes worth of material because of all the F words that are said. I was watching this last night. My wife kept coming in going, "That language is terrible. Brian, why are you watching that?" Well, because he's talking about some important topics. And although he's doing it in a kind of uncomfortable way, it's stuff that actually needs to be discussed. Like I said, I wish he could do it without being quite so pushing the line and trying to use as many F words as he does, because then you could you could bring these subjects before more people and actually get further with it. And because, I mean, he was commenting, and this new special of his is called Paper Tiger. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It is really funny. But just be prepared for a lot of swearing and some vulgarity and stuff like that. But he discusses the nonsense that's going on in our country with some of the political correctness and all of that stuff. And that's one of the clips I wanted to play where he kind of takes that head on and just talks about how ridiculous it all is. You know, how comedians and people are being stifled, and people are being given, safe spaces and nonsense and stuff where I can't hear ideas that contradict my. Wow, you cannot listen to a contrary idea without it causing you trauma? I don't think you understand what trauma means. So our society has really become just kind of pathetic anyway. So, I mean, this special is just funny. But yeah, if you have a little bit of trouble with swearing, you're going to be spending a lot of time going, ow, and so listen to it with headphones on would be my suggestion, so that your wives are not like. But he talks about that relationship between men and women. And it's almost like that's another thing that's almost taboo. You can't even talk about the difference between men and women anymore without people flipping out and losing their minds. Oh, no, there aren't differences. They're all the same. We are the same. No, we're not. No, not even close. I've been married for 22 years. We're not the same at all. And women love changing things. I was telling my brother this the other day. I was like, it's like being married to a woman is like having a combination safe in your life. That just about the time you figure out what the combination is, she walks into the room and goes, "Hey, can I see that for a second? I need to get something out of there." "Okay, yeah, sure. I'm just about done. Don't mess it with it too much." "Oh, I won't." Oh, yeah. And they change the combination on you so that there's never any fear of you actually learning to understand them. They don't want that. They say they want that, but they don't want that. They don't. Mm-mm. And they don't want to understand you, and they don't want you to understand them. They want to be the mystery. I want to be a mystery in his life. We have enough mysteries. We want somebody who we go to bed with every night that we don't fear for our lives. So anyway, but so I wanted to pull up and play a couple minutes from this special. And I may pause this and stop this. And like I say, if you have a problem with swearing, stop watching right now. Because that's not going to work. Oh, look, Star Trek's still on there. Boy, I didn't prep for this very good, did I? Anyway, doesn't matter because we're going to watch this. So pay no attention to that Star Trek box at the bottom there. It's okay. But anyway, so let's go in here real quick, and I want to play one of these things, and then we'll talk about like how important this kind of stuff is for our culture.
That's how it's become. Fucking U.S., everything's so goddamn, every fucking joke you tell. Well, what did you mean about that? I didn't go to the gym today. Are you calling me fat? I feel fucking triggered. Gotta fucking apologize to everybody. This is how screwed up my country is right now. You know Bryan Cranston, right? That dude did a movie. He played a quadriplegic, and people gave him shit. Be like, why is there an able-bodied person playing a quadriplegic? It's because it's called acting, you dumb fuck. See, if he was a quadriplegic playing a quadriplegic, that's not acting. That's just fucking laying there saying shit that someone else wrote. So tell us, what did you do to prepare for the role? Well, I dove head first into the shallow end of a pool when I was 23. I feel like I've been preparing for this role for my whole life.
So he's taking on some pretty heavy subjects here, but he's kind of joking about a quadriplegic and stuff. And most people be like, "I have a brother who's a quadriplegic, and this is terrible." Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's continue with him here. But like I said, I've got to pause every so often.
Right, what is up next for you? Well, they're going to do a reboot of Top Gun. I'm going to fly it with my tongue. And the co-pilot's going to be transgendered. So everybody will be happy. She won't die. Her discarded dick will block her head from the canopy. There'll be a gender-neutral bathroom on the plane. How fucking dumb is that? That's literally like watching a movie. Why didn't you have a murderer play a murderer? And how come the guy he shot, I saw him in another movie? I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Literally, that is exactly how stupid things have gotten in our day, where just like common sense is just, it's not common at all anymore. They should just call it uncommon sense, because it really is not common. People are just like dumb and asking dumb questions, and they can't figure stuff out. And it's just like, what happened to you as a person that you really? Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
No, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think white women started it. It's the worst. The fucking worst. It's all they do is bitch, moan, and complain. I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman in the United States of America. Evidently, it's really difficult.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Yeah, they're always bitching. Do you have any idea what it's like to be me? Well, I imagine it would be slightly less awesome than my life. What happened to you today, sweetheart, huh? Did they not chill your rosé? You know? Was the trolley not running down at the mall? What happened? No, it's unreal. I'm really fucking annoyed how white women have the fucking balls to throw my white privilege in my face, you know? Sort of separate themselves from these white males with their white male privilege. It's like, bitch, you're sitting in the jacuzzi with me. The fuck are you talking about?
Anyway, so I don't want to play too much here because, you know, then you know, I could see them copyright striking me, and rightly so, because here I am playing their material too much. So, but this is actually really funny, and the topics that he's covering need to be covered. I mean, they need to be made fun of. They need to be made, you know, a joke, because that's how civilization moves forward. When we suddenly realize we've become a parody of ourselves and we become that dumb, it's time to start making fun of ourselves just a lot. You know, and we need that. So, you know, hats off to guys like Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr, who are gutsy enough comedians who are just like, you know what, I don't care. I don't care how PC you think somebody's supposed to be. I'm going to say this stuff. I'm going to say this stuff because you people are ridiculous. You're retarded. You're goofy, and you're ruining everything for everybody. All this white privilege nonsense, because that's what that is. It is absolutely nonsense. There is no such thing. Okay, now you can say, well, Brian, you're a white man from Idaho. You have no idea. Yeah, I do, because I grew up poor. We had nothing. We thought we were having a great meal when we got mom's homemade peaches and mom's homemade bread, because she couldn't afford to buy anything else. We were lucky enough to get the materials to make that stuff, and most of the time we got peaches given to us by somebody else who wasn't using all of the peaches that they had. I mean, so I lived in a little single wide manufactured home when I was a kid, and we farmed, and I mean, it took everything just to try and create something for this farm. And I mean, we didn't have money. My mom was telling me a story one time about how she went to the store one day and finally had enough money to buy a small bag of chocolate chips so that she could finally make chocolate chip cookies for her kids. And she remembered standing there in the aisle weeping over the fact that she had enough money to buy chocolate chips. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I'm white privileged, wow. I missed out on the privilege part, okay? Because everything I've got in my life, I worked for. Nobody's handed me anything ever. I am hardworking, and my wife's hardworking, and that's what makes life work. You know, is if you want to sit around and complain that somebody's just, you know, going against you because of the color of your skin, then you've defeated yourself. Nobody did that to you. Now, is there been racism? You know, are the blacks starting from a disadvantage, or any other group? Maybe a little bit, yeah. But it's not that way anymore, and you can do anything you want to do. You do not have the struggles that your ancestors do, and that's what needs to be said. You know, Bill Burr is married to a black lady. I'm going to stop saying African-American because it's stupid. It's retarded and redundant. I got in the habit of doing it during the early times of the PC culture, and I need to stop because it's stupid. They're not African. They are American, but just call them Americans would be a little bit too vague. So I just need to call them black people because that's what they are. It doesn't matter. You know, my daughter has a black girl from South Africa as a roommate right now, and she's a sweet gal. We had dinner with, she came and had dinner with our whole family today. It's a very, very nice, sweet girl. And I didn't sit there the whole time thinking, black girl, there's a black girl at my table. She was just a really nice, sweet girl. And, you know, and all this racism is nonsense. It just drums up all this stuff. I mean, it was not this bad before Barack Obama became president. And then suddenly something happened to us and we all became psycho racists. It's like they've spent the last 12 years or so trying to turn us into something we were getting away from. We were becoming better at. Now we're all being convinced again that we're this racist, horrible country. And I love it when white people get up there and lecture black people about how racist we are and how downtrodden that. I mean, it's the most insulting, stupid stuff. Some of the stuff that gets said to Candace Owens on a regular basis just makes me laugh because of how stupid it is, that where she has to sit there and refute the fact that she is not downtrodden. She can do anything she wants to do. She's successful. You know, it's just, it's a bizarre world we live in. And so when a guy like Bill Burr here can poke at him and poke the bear, as it were, and make it funny, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I said, I wish the vulgarity wasn't quite there so much, because it makes it hard to recommend this to people that I know would struggle with swearing. But he's talking about important stuff, and I'm glad somebody is. The comedians out there and the pundits and stuff, they need to be doing this. They need to be making fun of how ridiculous and foolish this is, because that's how we used to handle these stupid situations when people would get out of line in society and start making up crazy crap. We'd just laugh at them and push them back into obscurity where they belong when they're like, I don't know what bathroom I'm supposed to use. Well, it's really simple. See, when you take your pants down, there's going to be one of two things there. And depending on which one it is, there's a door marked for you. You go in that door. And if you can't figure that out, get out. Get out. Go away. Nobody wants you around. You're nuts. You should be institutionalized because you cannot figure out common sense things. And you're ruining everybody else's life while you can't figure this stuff out. And I'm sorry, I don't feel a bit bad for you in your struggle, because it's not a struggle. It's a self-imposed struggle. You've done this to yourself. Your life is so easy and so good that you have time to create nonsense like this for yourself and make everybody else suffer for it in the bargain. Anyway, so like I said, this is a great special. Go take a look at it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like and subscribe to my channel, and go support these comedians, because they need it. They need to have us supporting them when they're calling out the nonsense. They really do. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Bye now.